From Monterey Park, California, as we come on the air here in the West, you can see the growing tribute, the makeshift memorial right here behind me, the flowers, the candles, the cards left behind after this deadly mass shooting at a dance hall here inside the ballroom during what was supposed to be a joyful dance to celebrate the start of the Lunar New Year. Tonight, we have learned the death toll is rising, 11 people killed, 9 others injured, and authorities say the death toll likely would have been higher if it weren't for the bravery of a young man, who you will hear from right here tonight. He confronted the gunman at the second ballroom he showed up at, taking a semi-automatic weapon away from him after a terrifying struggle. You will also hear from survivors tonight in that ballroom, dancers in their 50s, 60s, 70s lying on the floor, their dance shoes still on, as police and the community search for answers. What drove the 72-year-old gunman to such violence? Tonight, these new surveillance images show the fateful encounter at that second dance hall about 20 minutes after the first attack. The young man, that Good Samaritan, Brandon Tsay, telling us something came over him, that somehow he was able to wrestle the man's weapons away, but not without that struggle. Then, of course, the urgent manhunt that followed, lasting for many hours. The gunman's white van traced the shopping center parking lot, SWAT teams surrounding the van, hearing a single shot as they moved in. Authorities say the gunman shot and killed himself. Tonight, what we're learning about the gunman, Hu Can Tran, 72 years old, most of his victims in their 60s. Police now believe that some appear to have been targeted, others shot at random. And tonight, a senior law enforcement official telling ABC News authorities are investigating reports the suspect may have been targeting his ex-wife in coming here. And just moments ago, authorities holding a news conference revealing that hundreds of rounds of ammunition and other guns have now been found at the suspect's home. ABC's Matt Rivers leading us off tonight with late reporting and the interview with that young man who stopped the gunman at that second ballroom.
Tonight, with the death toll rising, the new images of the dramatic moment the gunman was stopped. The life and death struggle, a Good Samaritan taking on the suspected mass murderer Saturday night. Police say most certainly saving lives in doing so. Brandon Tsay telling us he thought he was going to die as he confronted the gunman.
Something came over me. I had this realization that I needed to grab his weapon. I needed to take control of the situation, or else everybody would die, including me.
Tsay lunging at the gunman, grabbing the weapon.
So you are struggling with him right here?
Yes. I'm struggling with him.
He's fighting back?
I have both hands on the gun. He is trying to fight back. He was bashing me in the face, behind my head, getting very physical, trying to do everything he could to get the weapon away from me.
Tsay then wrestling the weapon out of the gunman's hands.
And I'm about where he is?
Yes, you're about where he was.
Okay.
And at this moment, I pointed a gun at him and told him, "Get away. I'm gonna shoot you. Get out, go."
He says the suspect ran, setting off the half-day manhunt to find him. Authorities using those security camera images from the second ballroom the suspect went to, the Lai Ballroom and Studio in Alhambra, just east of Los Angeles, to help identify that gunman as 72-year-old Hu Can Tran. Police say it was about 20 minutes before that confrontation with the suspect that he was at that first ballroom just over 2 miles away in Monterey Park. Tran opened fire at the Star Ballroom Dance Studio, his first stop, firing more than 40 times, killing at least 11 people, injuring 9 more during a Lunar New Year celebration. One woman named Shally, who was inside the hall when gunfire erupted, says her dance partner died after shielding her from a bullet.
I call my partner, wake up, he don't wake up. And I realized all my hands are blood. I thought I got shot too.
The horror setting off a massive manhunt. Police tracking down the suspect's white van with a stolen license plate in Torrance, some 30 miles from the shooting scene, about 12 hours later.
When officers exited their patrol vehicle to contact the occupant, they heard one gunshot coming from within the van.
SWAT vehicles blocking the van for hours, then with guns drawn, heavily armed officers smashing out the window. Inside, authorities say they found Tran dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. And tonight, as authorities search for the motive, new details emerging about the alleged shooter. Authorities searching his home in Hemet.
Everybody around here just thought he was just some quiet little guy,
Officials revealing Tran visited the Hemet police station twice on January 7th and again on the 9th, making a number of allegations, including accusing his own family of poisoning him. Tran's former tenant and longtime acquaintance, who asked that we not name him, telling ABC News Tran was a regular at both dance halls he targeted and didn't have many friends at the studio, saying Tran, quote, distrusted everyone and had a personality of, quote, hate towards people. A senior law enforcement official telling ABC News authorities are investigating reports that Tran may have been targeting his ex-wife and had a history of anger against her. While back at that second ballroom where the suspect was stopped, Brandon Tsay telling us taking the gun away from the suspect and threatening him with it was a terrifying thing to do.
In that moment, I feel like I was going to shoot another person, that I might cause the death of another human being. It's a very scary thought to think about.
The extraordinary bravery of that young man, authorities celebrating him tonight, saying it could have been much worse had he not stepped in. And Matt Rivers is also here in California with us tonight. And Matt, I know authorities holding that news conference a bit earlier. And what more have we learned about the gun allegedly used in this mass shooting?
Yeah, David, authorities say that the gun that Brandon Tsay managed to wrestle away from that suspect was, quote, a 9mm caliber semi-automatic assault weapon. They also recovered another handgun from the suspect's van and at the suspect's house. Authorities say they recovered a rifle, hundreds of rounds of loose ammunition, as well as evidence that he was manufacturing his own personal firearm suppressors. At a press conference in Los Angeles not long ago, David, one county official there saying, quote, this is the worst mass shooting in LA County history. David.
All right, Matt Rivers leading us off here tonight. Matt, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.